Hello, a long time no see, but today I am back with a season 5 episode 3 of the Random Beauty Support Group, also known as RBSG. So every month, someone in the group, it's their turn to get a word given to them, and then from that word they choose a prompt. So this month is May, and it was Tish's turn to choose the word, and I will be sure to link her channel, Trouble with Tish. She's lots of fun. The prompt that Tish came up with is this. My word is whisper. What I'm thinking is places, events that you would need to whisper. Church, library, funeral tend to be more reserved. I want everyone to do a look that you think of when you think of these places and or events. So today we're going to do a whisper inspired look, and so I'm thinking just very soft, somewhat minimal makeup, church whisper, kind of like the hint of makeup, definitely no red lips, nude lips, sort of that thing. So let's go ahead and dive on in. I'm going to skip on primer today, but I am going to start with a little bit of the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless filter, just because I feel like this gives you a whisper of a filter, a whisper of a glow. So we're just going to apply it a little bit in places that we would highlight. And blend it in. Now we have it blended in. You can see it's just a whisper. You really can't even see that it's there. And I'm going to top it off with the e.l.f. Soft Glam Satin Foundation. And this is in the shade Light Neutral. And I'm going to apply it with a damp beauty sponge, just because not only is it that soft glam satin look, but I also want to give it a lighter look. This foundation, I do find it can get a little bit cakey, or it just can look a little bit unnatural, and it's not my favorite foundation, but I think when applied with this damp beauty sponge, it will just give it more of the hint of makeup than a really strong, like, full coverage. I think this one says light to medium buildable coverage. I don't know about the buildable, but I would say medium. I feel like it doesn't build very well because it gets cakey if it builds, but I also have dry skin, so that can be, you can have a hard time building with dry skin. And just for the record, if you're wondering, I don't recommend this foundation. I wouldn't go out and purchase it. I'd maybe give it like a 2.5 out of 5 stars. It just has that problem where it sits on top of your skin and never really blends in. It's fairly inexpensive and of course cruelty-free and vegan, but sadly, just not one I would choose. Now we have a very soft foundation base, and I'm going to go ahead and build on top of it with some more soft products. I brought in some of my Merit products because I feel like those definitely are a whisper of pigment and a whisper of product. So let's see what I have. Using the Merit Bronze Balm, I'm going to go ahead and add a little more dimension back into the face because we totally wiped it all out with the e.l.f. foundation. So I'm going to just do a hint, a whisper of product here. And this one blends out. I guess I didn't do like a super whisper because I still put plenty on, but it blends out to just nothing. And because of that, you can really apply a little bit heavy-handed. It is buildable, but you can apply it a little bit heavy-handed and then just blend it on out. And you won't even see it. Of course, you could blend this out with a brush too, but I'm just using the damp beauty sponge because 1, that's what I'm already using, and 2, it will just give that really whisper effect. I think the Merit Foundation Complexion Stick, the stick foundation, would also qualify as like a whisper foundation. But if you saw my video review on that, you saw I did get a broken one and I didn't love that one anyway. So I did end up returning that one. That's one of the only foundations I've ever returned. So I did return that one, so I can't use that today. But I will link that video in case you do want to just see what it looks like. It might work better for someone who doesn't have dry skin. So now we just have a whisper of bronze on the skin, and now I'm going to add the Flush Balm in Beverly Hills in this shade, and this is absolutely a whisper of color. It's very pretty, especially once it blends out though. It's just a whisper, just blends right in. You could also do a little bit on the lips, but I did bring in a Merit lipstick too. All right, now we have a whisper of the blush balm. I'm going to just top it off with powder, but a very light powder. This, I'm going to use the Hourglass Elephant Ambient Unlocked palette, which I know this is old and I should get rid of it, but I still have so much product left, and it's such a beautiful product and so expensive that I hate to get rid of it, so I'm gonna just use it a little bit longer. So I'm gonna go in with the bronze shade and just go over those areas that we bronzed with the contour stick, or with the stick bronze balm. These ambient powders definitely are like a whisper powder, where they're very subtle but very beautiful, but it's like almost undetectable, but just adds a beautiful little glow. Then I'm going to use the brighter pink shade on the cheeks just to pop that color, but again, it's still just a little kiss of color, not too much. Now let's add some eyebrows, because I already only have a whisper of eyebrows. I'm just going to use this ultra slim brow pencil. This is the Ulta Beauty in Brunette. This is, the Ulta products are cruelty free, but I don't believe this is vegan, so just keep that in mind. Usually I use all cruelty free and vegan. This one is older and I still want to use it up. I won't repurchase it, but one of the reasons I'm using this one is because you might be able to tell from the video here that I did get my hair lightened since the last video I've done, which was a long time ago, but I did just recently get my hair done, and so I haven't gotten a new pencil kind of to better match my hair color, because I want to add a little bit, like I want to take my eyebrows like a little bit lighter when I get my hair lightened, and I don't really want to do like a very dark espresso brown eyeshadow or eyebrow that I usually do. So I'm looking to find some lighter products that aren't too harsh with my naturally darker brow, but like I don't have a lot of brow, so I can get away with filling it in a little bit lighter because it's not too bad. But I have to find just the right shade and the right tone, and I just happen to have this Ulta pencil left that I didn't really use because it was too light when my hair was dark. It worked, not this specific one, but I had this color when I had like more red in my hair, and that actually worked really well because it does have kind of like an auburn undertone, the shade of this brunette. And so it was never really, it worked great for when I had red in my hair, but it was never really my favorite pencil. But for some reason I like bought another one of it at some point, so this is a newer one that I have, and I'm going to use it up, and then I will replace it with a cruelty-free and vegan pencil, but I just need to find one that will work. All right, I'm back with both eyebrows done. Sorry, my camera did turn off and back on, so if it looks a little different, that's why. It's been so long since I filmed, I forgot that I needed to order a new memory card, because even though I like deleted and reformatted and did everything to the current one I have, it still keeps trying to tell me that the memory is full even though it's not. So I just need to go order a new one, and I haven't done that yet. So anyway, the eyebrows are done, and these are more of like a whisper eyebrow, not too strong, not very harsh. I used a lighter color to help achieve that effect too. So let's do some eyes. I'm just going to take the bronzer from the Elephant palette, the Hourglass palette, and pull a little bit through the crease, just a little. So it's just a whisper of color. It almost looks like nothing. You know, when you're at church or a funeral or the library, you don't want to be too loud. Color can be loud, so just using very natural colors. But also you can wear whatever makeup you want wherever you want to. So I'm also going to use the lightest shade here across the lid. Even though this is more like a finishing powder, it will work. Now I'm going to take some of this e.l.f. Lock On liner, which is for brows and eyeliner. And it's this little pot eyeliner, and this is in the brown shade, and I actually am going to take a little bit as liner because I didn't want to use a harsh black, but I did want to add a little more definition to the eye. So I'm going to use a little bit of that just around the lash line, focusing on the outer, like the outer corner of the eye. And then as I get closer to the inner part of the eye, I'm just doing a hint very thin. Well, that's my intention. It's getting a little thicker because I'm trying to talk and do it at the same time, and it's harder than one would think. All right, so now I've applied it a little bit thicker than I wanted, but I'm just going to really buff it out. I just want it to be smudged. I don't want it to be harsh. All right, there we go. That's kind of what I was going for. Not exactly. You know, sometimes we have ideas and they don't exactly work out, but that's all right. Now I'm just going to do the other eye and blend this one out too. So there is just a smudged out whisper of eyeliners. It doesn't really look like there's really any there. It's just very smudged, almost like that like leftover liner effect. I'm going to use a very subtle mascara. This is the Hailey Beauty's Reveal mascara. It's a lengthening mascara, and it's that really teeny tiny whisper of a brush, and it just kind of lightly gives you lashes. Now I put on the lashes. If you saw my Costco haul video, you will have seen me try this, and just for an update, I want you to know I don't like this one. I wouldn't repurchase, but it gives us very wispy lashes. So I thought it worked perfect for this video today. I thought I grabbed a lip liner, but apparently I didn't. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go straight in with the Merit. This is Millennial, the signature lightweight lipstick. And I love this lipstick. It doesn't last at all, but it's beautiful. It smells good. And it's hydrating. And it's kind of like Your Lips But Better, at least my shade of Lips But Better in this shade. So it's really just a whisper of color on the lips, and I didn't want to do anything glossy because I felt like that's a little bit more loud, and so I just did the satin lip color. I do love this one. I just wish it lasted longer. Well, this is the finished look of the Whisper. So what do you think? Do you think we could go somewhere quiet? I'm also terrible at whispering. I think I whisper louder than I talk sometimes. I'm just not good at it. Thank you so much for watching. Do go and check out the other Whisper looks from the RBSG group. I will link the playlists below so you can check out all the videos and see everyone else's interpretation on the look too. I will see you in another video, hopefully very soon. But until then, take care of yourself.